So, like, what exactly is the line of that? Because I wouldn't look at that guitar and think of Fender. Like, is that like suing for this would be insane? Because it's like that's just a guitar. We need to make an NRA for Fender. Editing in the
Hello,
trailer.
hello,
I'm gonna do
hello.
idiot research into this court ruling that we're talking about.
Hello.
It seems like the thing that is set is that any
Hello.
of the direct clones of the Stratocaster can't be sold. And how I'm interpreting that is like the Schminder Stratocaster, where the purpose of it is to trick you into thinking that it's like a Fender, or it's just like a direct clone. But things like that blue guitar that I showed you, or like the Silver Sky, those would never be considered clones because they're pretty distinct. I know they have a pick guard, and even the blue one didn't have a pick guard, but it's still big cut's different and all that. That'd be pretty wild if something stored across here. I did full PRS or any guitar that remotely looks like a Stratocaster that isn't even a clone. So that's interesting. Also, when Rick said destroy your own stock, I interpreted that as Fender wanting individual like owners of bootleg guitars to destroy their guitars. It's pretty absurd, right? Rick is saying more like companies who sell them,
Um,
well, they can't sell them. But clones. So he's saying like destroying must be the only option. There's no hint of anything like that in the document that I read. Again, I am reading on the treadmill. My reading comprehension is basically cut in half on the treadmill, and I do read everything on here. And I do all my editing. But the way
some of
what Rick said, especially comparing like people with their Fender guitars to like people with guns in the NRA, I think there's a lot of merit to that. So it's fun to say. Okay. I'll let you know if I think of anything else. Enjoy the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, by the way. This looks like a Strat guitar.
It's not. Not exactly. Rick Beato's outing himself. He's a criminal, dude. He's peddling fake fenders. Looks like a Strat guitar. You guys see me play this videos? Well, this is not a Strat guitar either. It's actually a Charvel guitar. Now, you may recognize Charvel guitars because a lot of people play Charvel guitars. Like, oh, I don't know, Alan Holdsworth. Yeah, he doesn't know anything though, right? I'm just kidding. That's what we all got by one Alan Holdsworth video. Guthrie Govan played Charvel. And you have people like Eddie Van Halen that played it. Franken Strat that was put together for parts. A Strat style guitar. Yeah, you can do that with one guitar. Just mix and match stuff, and it really doesn't matter at all. You can break stuff off, add new things, still sound the same. Are you going to sue Alan Holdsworth for playing guitars 40 years ago? God rest his soul. They're a little late on that. Maybe they should have done it back then. Now, this Strat I bought in a music store here used. This started out as an American Standard Strat. The body is still an American Standard Strat, but the guitar that I bought that I paid $900 for had a really terrible neck on it. So what did I do? I took the neck off and I had a neck made. It's not a Fender neck. This is not a Fender neck on it. You're a fool me, Rick. Why did you say Fender on it instead of Fender neck? I threw it in the garbage. You know why? Because I couldn't sell it. Because it wasn't worth anything. It played terribly. And this is one of the problems with Fender guitars. The quality has been hit or miss. John Mayer is the... Ooh, this is the big one right here. You know, I'm gonna make one more Fender video after this, and it's when John Mayer puts out a statement. I'm gonna look at that because I like I have to, right? And you know what? Rick's making a lot of good points here. Fender quality control might suck. Like I'd argue that electric guitars in general
Sometime.
it's more of a symptom of that than like the quality control per se. All right, let's keep going. Biggest artist that used to play Fender guitars. Well, John Mayer moved from Fender guitars. He was a Fender endorsee from early 2000s when he became a big star, all the way up to 2018. Why did he move over? I imagine it had something to do with he switched to PRS. Why would you lose your biggest artist to another company? Could it be that maybe the instruments weren't good enough quality? Could it be that you didn't get good artist relations, attention from the company? I don't know. I don't know, John. You're a fool here, Rick. Have you had him on your show? I do not believe so, but he has made John Mayer versus Joe Bonamassa videos from 7 years ago. Maybe John Mayer didn't like that. Keep saying like he'd ask Rick Beato to get on his show. I don't deserve to be on Rick Beato's show. There's no reason for me to be on Rick Beato's show. It would be a boring episode because it would be like, oh, Cameron, you're like a loser grad student who has a YouTube channel and you just like dog on people online all day. And you play classical guitar sometimes and not even that well. And you're kind of not even that good, especially like on the professional world stage. You're terrible on that stage. And that would be the whole interview. It would be like 20 minutes long and it would just kind of suck. Dude, the next Rick Beato interview, I'm hoping to see John Mayer and talking about the whole Fender stuff. That's sick Rick Beato interview. Rick Beato, if you want like
Then if
10
the
million
quality
views,
is that
do
bad,
that.
then why
I would
people
see
still buy it?
that gets like 25,000 views. That's a freaking idea right there. I don't even want royalties for that one, Rick.
The only problem they have with Fender are when it's standard guitar. And I'm like, you dropped the ball right there, so. Because no concept standard.
Want to react to it. That's all I care about. It's probably part of both. If you were to go to any music store, Guitar Center, and pull a Fender Strat off the shelf and go play it at a gig, well, I wouldn't recommend it because the chances of it playing well are extremely low. I know you guys are saying it's
So bitter.
really hard here right now.
I don't know, so people still play Fender.
Do now. So that they can get the trust back of musicians out there. I don't know if it can be done. It's amazing how toxic they are. Hey, Rick. This lawsuit. Tell this German company, it's this law firm that's doing this thing. They're going to stop the litigation against companies. They should sue that whoever convinced them to do this, and they should get rid of the new CEO. After hearing Rick wax about this issue, I kind of get where he's coming from. Like, guitar builders should be able to build whatever. I think the fact that Fender is suing for just the shape of the body in general without the pickguard or the button configuration, that's a bit ridiculous because, again, that shape is just ergonomic. That's just what a guitar is going to look like, an electric guitar, that is. And you need a place for your leg, you need a place for your arm. The horns are a little weird. I admit, but it does look cool. So I kind of get it. It's the pick guard and the buttons for me. Beyond that, I don't know. Finishing up the editing on this video, and I'm disappointed in myself because I've been listening to Rick's arguments, and he's talking a lot about Fender quality control. I don't really see what that has to do with other people copying Fender's designs, though. Just because your guitars suck doesn't mean you deserve to have your art stolen. Like, I don't think
Mm.
it's weird. Like he's saying they deserve it because their quality sucks. If their quality didn't suck, Fender wouldn't deserve to have their design stolen. I still stand by what I said. I think the general shape that should be allowed to be copied, just as an acoustic guitar, its general shape is copied all the time. Also, I kept saying your arm goes in this place. It's actually more of like your boob that goes in there. It's not your arm. I do play guitar on piano. But the horn is useful because you can use it as your fedora holder, of course, but your leg goes there, your boob goes there. I guess I'm having a hard time seeing what Rick's point is with all of
Mm.
this. Listen
This
to
women don't really care
Fender
neither.
guitars. They
Mm.
don't buy them. If you buy a Fender guitar for a gig and you don't try it out beforehand, God help you, because it's the last gig you're ever gonna have.
I don't really care. If me have the money, me say me go buy Fender. I don't really give two rats tits. Nothing now gonna stop me from play Fender. Me always want Fender and my mind will never change. I feel like I'm deterging what makes him a classical guitarist. That is so funny. One 70 y uno. Ah.
That's what this video is. All right, I will see you for the conclusion now. So, conclusion of this whole Fender thing. Here's what I think you should do if you're buying a new guitar. You should buy the absolute cheapest guitar at Guitar Center that plays well, because that's really all that matters. Don't look at brand. Don't look at anything else like that. Just does the wood feel good to play? You can always
Mm.
change the pickups. You can change the strings. You can change all that stuff out later, and that's your budget on.
But yeah, that's still go costly. Mm.
For a guitar, or if you're swimming in money, hire a luthier. Have them make you a classical guitar, ideally, or if you're crazy, you can have them make you an electric guitar, and then just play that. But honestly, again, with the electric guitar, you're probably better off just playing the cheapest electric guitar you can find that feels good still, and just changing out the electronics to do whatever you want, to get whatever sound you want. And that's how you do it right there. It's just another excuse to make a Fender video and potentially trick people into clicking on this video thinking it's going to be something. It ended up being this, which is, what even is this? I don't know. Hey, CVS, I'm all ears. I'm looking for anything right now. And I guess maybe to end.
Yes. Channel. Shit ton garbage.
Like your video and potentially trick people into clicking on this video thinking it's going to be something. It ended up being this, which is, what even is this? But hey, CVS, I'm looking for anything. And I guess maybe. Channel. Shit ton garbage.
Mm. Oh, now this again. God. Anybody hear me? Yes. Yes. Nice speaking. I can't with this game.
This is possibly the best camera phone in the world. It's the first phone in years that genuinely made me consider switching to Samsung, which is annoying because I also don't really trust it. Just look at this camera phone. The sensors inside are enormous. On paper, this completely demolishes everything. In fact, the non-ultra version of this phone marks number two as the best camera phone on the XO mark, so imagine how good the Ultra must be. I'm talking an almost 1-inch main camera sensor, a 200 megapixel zoom sensor, and an ultra wide that's literally bigger than most main sensors. My expectations were through the roof, and after some testing, I'm a little bit confused, and I don't think I can switch to it. So, what happened? I was really excited when this phone came out, and sadly, Vivo didn't send this phone to me. In fact, they very kindly ignored all of my DMs and my 700 emails. That's okay, I'll just buy it myself. That's okay, I'll just import it from China. It's gonna be Chinese. Nice. Immediately you notice how freaking massive this camera bump is. It's probably the only phone that you can pick up by the camera. This bump is almost as thick as another phone. And the lenses look intimidating. Like, look at it. It looks like some tunnel. And the phone looks like a GTA run. But I don't have a problem with any of that as long as the camera is actually good. What makes this camera so unique is that the main sensor is 35 millimeters, or in other words, it's 1.5x instead of 1x. It's not a crop. It's not a digital zoom. It's actually designed to be 1.5x. And I absolutely love that. Usually the 1S has a very NPC looking view. You can just tell it was shot on a phone. But the 1.5X has a way more natural perspective. It looks like a real camera. And combine that with the bigger sensor and the backlight, same. Side by side with like any phone, this looks like a mirrorless camera, which phone, I have to give it some credit. Manually adjust the saturation, adjust all of its add grain, halo, and video mode. Hello. Such a cool feature. I hate sharpening, so I love the fact that I could just turn it down all the way. So using this as my daily camera, that 35mm film this entire sponsored integration for Ugreen using this ultra wide. Filming stuff on your phone can completely violate the battery, which is why Ugreen made this MagFlow Air magnetic power bank, which can wirelessly charge your phone with Qi2 at 15 watts. And it's slim enough not to feel like a brick. But if you need a little bit more juice, they also have a thicker version with double the capacity, and this one actually has a built-in cable which supports 30 watts of charging, and this cable can charge the iPhone 17 Pro to 50% in just 19 minutes. This has literally become my go-to power bank. Every time I leave the house, well, probably more useful than most people. I love taking these POV shots, and I love filming random stuff with B-roll because you can get really close. So when I saw the size of that ultra-wide sensor, I was almost instantly sold. However, as good as it seemed on paper, it very quickly fell apart. Stabilize the video. So if I'm using an ultra wide, I need it to be as wide as possible, and that default crop is way too aggressive. And this doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you select this option, close the app, and then come back, this option doesn't save, which is really annoying. And the video preview just gives me anxiety because it looks worse than even this Samsung. And I already made a video explaining how the Samsung preview looks so much worse than the iPhone. And this looks worse than the Samsung. And actually pressing the record button didn't make much of a difference because what is going on with the exposure? It's like Vivo has no idea what to do in these situations. Everything is too bright. And that is my biggest issue with this phone. Yes, it will let in so much more light. It will look so much brighter, but then it will just fumble the very basics. Like, how can I trust this phone? And this is where my trust just keeps evaporating. Take a look at this low light zoom sensor on Vivo. I think we can both agree that Vivo sensors are like light years ahead, but the amount of smoothing and noise reduction and scaling and I don't know, redrawing is actually criminal here. Of course, this photo is way more usable, but it's so artificial looking. Even the colors, like, where did the blue come from? Look at this selfie. It is way too overprocessed. And then look at the Samsung one. It knows its limits. It just gives up. It doesn't try. But the Vivo, like, it does too much on my face. And before you ask, yes, I turned off all the smart optimizations. I turned off that telephoto enhancing thing. I even tried a feature called raw light, which basically reduces some of the processing like HDR, but it doesn't affect the sharpening or the noise reduction, so I might as well just keep it on. And then speaking of selfie, in the video mode, you don't get any of those filters or any of those sharpening options, so in the end, it just comes out looking very meh. The point I'm trying to make is that the potential of this phone is literally like up here, but the consistency of the video mode, especially video, is a little bit questionable. I was so excited about that ultra-wide sensor, but seeing how confused it is and all these tricky lighting scenarios just made me not want to use it anymore. And